Right, bit of a different one on the channel, different video. I'm raw dogging this, so I'm sorry if I repeat myself or whatever, but I've basically been getting really, like, a lot of requests, basically begging me to make a Marvel Rivals video on, like, tier list wins and counters. So, fuck it. I'll do it. I'm a Grandmaster 1 Moon Knight, not one trick, but Moon Knight main. And I'll get into why I'm not a one-trick at a later date. But as you can see, he is definitely my most played character in competitive, if I do this. But I'm going to explain why I'm not necessarily a one-trick now, and why I'm sort of learning other characters and such. And people have just wanted me to make, like, a DPS tier list. People have wanted to know my opinion on supports and blah, 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 blah. So right now I'm going to focus solely on giving you guys Moon Knight tips. Ranking up tips, and also just my general advice for this game. Just bear in mind, I am not the Marvel God. I am not Marvel Jesus, so I'm not 100% knowledgeable in this game. I may say some stuff that isn't necessarily 100% factually true. This game is in its infancy right now. It's super, super early in the meta. The meta changes every day. Characters change every day, so don't fight with me on this one. Just sort of, like, give me constructive criticism is all I can ask. So yeah, just a little bit of background info, though, because a lot of people like to disagree without knowing the full things. I'm Grandmaster 1, I'm solo queue, I play on PC, okay? Those are the 3 necessary pieces of information you need if you're going to argue with any of my facts. I know a lot of people on console, for example, have a completely different time playing both this character and against this character. I understand that. I don't play on console, though. Okay, I'm a PC gamer. I've always been a PC gamer. A lot of the majority of TikTok people I get who beg me to explain how Iron Man is not top 1 DPS is usually console players who are at a lower elo. Don't get me wrong, with the team up, he's really, really good. But we'll get into that when I get to the tier list, okay? So, yes, there's my credentials, there's who I am. Let's just get straight into it because people want a tier list, so let's do the tier list first, okay? I couldn't find a DPS-only tier list, so ignore all the tanks here. I don't want to sit here for 4 hours talking about every single tank and support, okay? So we're just focusing on DPS, okay? And I do need to add a row above because we are going to get these 2 out the way quickly. So, currently, in the current meta, which is the 27th of the 12th, so before New Year's, Hela and Hawkeye are currently the best DPS in the game. They are tied for 2 of the most annoying characters. Ever since I hit above Diamond Elo, they have been permanently banned. So, therefore, they are the best DPS. There's no argument about it. I once had a guy tell me that Star-Lord was better than Hawkeye and Hela, so then I said, okay, why isn't he permabanned then? And they said, well, Hela and Hawkeye are just better. So there you go, argument done. Hela and Hawkeye on PC, and I've even heard apparently on console as well, they're just menaces. Hawkeye and Hela can both shred the entire cast. Hela and Hawkeye can basically out-DPS the DPS. They can one-shot supports, and they can shred tanks. They are amazing at their jobs, right? They can do a lot. They have really good hitboxes. They have really good survivability. Hawkeye is somewhat counterable by Psylocke, whereas Hela is just, she has a stun, she has immortality, she has slow fall, she has a really big point-capturing ult, she has high damage, she has a revive, and she has AoE damage. She is just crazy and has everything, okay? There we go. We're going to get those out the way, okay? And Hawkeye is obviously Hawkeye. He can one-shot squishies from across the map by accident. Oh, but he's not Hanzo because of his passive. The way his passive works is he can stack it up, flick, and shoot someone else, okay? It's not just on that character. I think his passive needs to be changed, but it's whatever. We're not going to get into that, okay? Let's just get this tier list out of the way because people probably want to watch Moon Knight tips. So, Black Panther, he's A tier, in my opinion. He's very situational. He's really, really good if you find someone who's cracked out on fucking Adderall and, like, snorted a line of G Fuel. However, a lot of situations, like Namor and stuff, just counter him completely, and he is just fun to deal with. But then when you have someone willing to play in the back line and give up the DPS spot, they're fine, right? A lot of people call me a waffler when I say sometimes a DPS doesn't need to have high E-limbs, especially because in this meta where there's free DPS. Sometimes a Namor just sat back, helping your teammate heal up, helping your support, sorry, by killing the diving Black Panther magic and shit. Sometimes that wins you the games, okay? A lot of people like to say I'm a waffler, but it's just true. This is a team game. This is a hero shooter with classes. It's all about what you do and about resources. And I will get onto that for the Moon Knight bit as well. Just keep in mind, it's all about resources as well. So yeah, Black Panther, he's okay. If you meet a really cracked Black Panther, he's really, really good. Black Widow, she is so situational. She is definition of situational. I've met one good Scarlet Witch, and the only reason that Scarlet Witch popped off is because my DPS refused to change characters. That is literally it. This game is a hero shooter. You should not be one-tricking, especially in higher elo. If you're a Star-Lord getting shot out the sky by the Black Widow, then you need to change to Psylocke and counter her. That's as simple as that, alright? Anyways, very situational. She has low damage considering she's a sniper. Her hitbox is quite silly, as in, like, she's really easy to counter-snipe. Hela out-damages her, which is funny to me. And overall, the one-shot potential from her is just not existent, and she's just overall not a great character, and she's very easy to pin down. Iron Fist, B tier. I know this guy absolutely slaps you on console. I understand that. Just play no more, put down turrets, walk away from him. It's really not that hard. He is a dive character. Him, Magic, Black Panther, Spidey, they all play the same way. They all revolve around killing supports. That's their job. That's their class. They're like assassins, basically. You need to play someone with mobility or asleep like Mantis. It's really not that difficult to deal with in higher elo when you're, like, talking to your team. Iron Man, A tier. Iron Man counters a lot of, like, projectile characters like Moon Knight. But he's easily countered by hit scans such as Punisher, Hela, even though Hela is mostly banned. Bucky has a really good time of grabbing him when an Iron Man doesn't know how to play. A lot of Iron Mans will revolve around the Unibeam with Hulk, especially in higher elo. The Unibeam is shorter range than the left click, sorry. So a good Bucky can just hook him out the sky. Namor's turrets will focus him if you hit the right click, plus Namor is really good against flying characters. Overall, he's okay. Even Star-Lord can counter him, and we'll get to Star-Lord in a bit. He's okay. Iron Man's really good with the team up, don't get me wrong. Everyone likes to say he's OP because of that. But the only reason why Iron Man gets a lot of value in higher elo lobbies is because these two are banned, and these two are direct counters to Iron Man. Hawkeye one-shots him, Hela out-DPSs him. Hela does more DPS. I think Hela does, like, the same amount of Unibeam damage, but quicker. Yes, you require tracking, but a good Hela can track. Same with a good Iron Man. People don't think about that. People just see, like, oh, well, Iron Man's dominating top 500 lobbies, so Iron Man's S tier. No, Iron Man's only S tier because his two counters are banned. That is literally it. The character is not great in all situations. If top 500 had no bans and everyone was just picking Hela or Hawkeye, you would never see Iron Man. That's just it, okay? Magic. People are going to disagree. I think Magic is an S-tier dive. She's amazing at just one-tapping people. She's amazing at doing damage. She's amazing survivability. She has great mobility. She has great utility. A lot of people downplay her, and that's absolutely fine. You're allowed to downplay certain characters, especially depending on what meta, what opinion, what elo. However, my issue is Magic can burst supports for a lot less value than Black Panther can. Black Panther really relies on hitting the vibranium marks and kind of takes skill, whereas Magic has a 6-foot sword that has a ranged attack and has 2 dashes that give her invincibility. Black Panther doesn't have invincibility during his dashes, so no more turrets will just shoot him and aimbot him down. Magic's is a lot harder to deal with. Magic's combos are a lot easier, and it's just easier to me to get value out of Magic. I've never played Magic, ever. I went into a practice lobby with no hints, no info, no nothing, and I did her insta-kill combo within about 2 seconds after I went, oh, I can do that. There we go. The character's just really simple to me. I don't know, maybe I'm a prodigy. I doubt that, though. She just seems really, really simple. Don't get me wrong, she's hard to get value out of if people know what they're doing. But 9 times out of 10, because this game's in its infancy, no one knows what they're doing. And like I said, you need to do a lot less to be more impactful on her. Moon Knight. So he's D tier and he's... No, I'm joking. Moon Knight's A tier. I know people may think this is main bias. I know loads of people think he's fucking S tier and should be permabanned. He's really not that great. If anything, he feeds supports quite easily, but we'll get into that later. Because feeding is technically not a real thing, but it is, but it's not. He's good at just bunker busting when everyone groups up, especially against a grouped. He's a really good DPS, but he struggles against flying characters and high mobility characters. The Ankh at higher level elo is just insta-killed 9 times out of 10 because someone is always on the lookout for it. Someone will see that there's a Moon Knight and go, wait for his Ankh. The character is dependent on his kit, and his kit is easily countered. That's just it. Namor, A tier as well. Namor is super situational, but Namor also has consistent damage. He's really good against dive comps. So, like Black Panther, Magic, Iron Fist, Spidey, if they're all jumping your supports, just put down a couple of turrets. With Lunar Snow, he's even better. But I'm not talking about team-ups in this this tier list, because team-ups rely on team-ups, right? I'm a solo queue player. I don't have people who are willing to communicate and change. So yeah, Namor's really good. He just has really good consistent damage, and his ult is amazing, so what more could you want? Psylocke, S tier. It's just well known she's the 3rd highest DPS in the game. A lot of people complain about people target banning Psylocke. You're not being target banned, your character's just really good, and sometimes supports just can't be asked to get one shot every 5 seconds, so they get rid of them. Her ult is amazing, her damage is really good, her poking is really good, her mobility is really good, and she has an invis. She is just overall a very fucking good and very fucking strong character, and that's absolutely fine. We need to stop downplaying the fact that she is on par with Hela and Hawkeye, except she takes a little bit more skill, and she's more close range rather than these two being every range. Punisher, A tier. Super easily countered, though. He's super easily countered, but if you're good at aiming, and you're good at tracking, and you're good at positional, like, awareness, really fucking good. Really good character. High damage, he's hit scan, so he counters, like, Iron Man, for example, and flying characters like Star-Lord during their ult. His turret gives him damage reduction and stun immunity. Sorry, I'm drinking. And overall, his ult is a really big, like, fuck you, hit me, guys, ha-ha button. So then people will combo that with other supports. Ults. He's just really good. But he's not amazing, because he lacks mobility, right? If you know what you're doing with the grapple's so finicky sometimes, though. But if you know what you're doing, he can have mobility, but it's a long cooldown, sorry. Scarlet Witch, if you have a monitor, headphones, and a mouse, you'll be fine. Scarlet Witch is very situational. Her issue is her damage is over time, whereas a lot of better DPS are burst damage. For example, like Moon Knight's a burst damage, or can be rather. Namor is burst damage. Shooty bang bang man with his 12 gauge shotgun is burst damage. Magic Psylocke burst damage. Hela Hawkeye burst damage. Even Iron Fist burst damage compared to her. She's sustained damage. All I've ever seen a Scarlet Witch do in higher elo is scream pure and then get sniped out the air. At the end of the day, the character is very situational. You can get value out of her, but if you can aim, she is countered. When she's screaming pure, okay, Bucky can grab her out the air. Namor can snipe her out the air with the insta-kill combo. Even Moon Knight can hit her, and he's countered against flying characters. Iron Man can just shut her the fuck up. It's just impossible to get any value out of her when people have actual, like, awareness. So that's just it. Her entire kit's okay. She has a good stun. She has a good mobility. She has continuous damage. But at the end of the day, there are people who out-damage her. Spidey's A tier. I know people want to disagree and say S tier. He's not. He requires a lot of mechanical knowledge and a lot of mechanical skill. I love Spider-Man, and I want to, like, main him because he's my favorite character in Marvel Rivals and Marvel Universe. However, the issue is he is so mechanically intensive that even I can't get away with trying to learn him. There are so many cancels. There are so many combos. He has way more cancels than Magic and fucking Black Panther, yet for some reason, people want to downplay and say Magic's worse than him. He is easily countered by Namor. Even Moon Knight can counter him, which is a big fucking, like, Moon Knight's biggest counter is dive, except for Spider-Man. Okay? The character requires a lot of knowledge, and he has such long cooldowns. He's just overall, he's like one of the worst A-tier dives. However, if you study him, like fucking those memes about studying the blade, trust me, he is fucking insane, and you can get some crazy good value out of him. Like, Necros is a really good Spider-Man, from what I've seen, although now he's playing Black Panther. I wonder why. But you can get some really insane value, but he just is so situational, it's just like no one plays him. I rarely see a GM Spider-Man, and it's even rarer that he does good, right? So, yeah, he's good. His ult's good, but, like, he is just one of the weaker dives apart from Iron Fist, because Iron Fist is just super easily countered. Squirrel Girl, A tier. Squirrel Girl's okay. She's very close to being B tier, but she has some sort of utility. Her ult's a bit finicky. You can just jump over it. It's really funny, like, just doing. But she has really good cooldowns, she has really good burst damage, and she has overall good utility with the stun. So I think she's okay. The only issue is people don't know how to play her. It's like early Junkrat. People just shoot shit down a corridor and get play of the game. It's the same with Squirrel Girl. When people learn actually how to play her, she may even rise up to higher ranks, or she may go to lower ranks as people know how to counter her. The game's really early in its infancy. This game is easy to play at the moment because no one knows what they're doing. So, yeah. Star-Lord, I think he's an S-tier DPS. He has crazy good mobility. He has instant reloads. He has high damage. He's hit scan as well. He's not Tracer. He's hit scan. But, like, much longer range hit scan. His mobility is on par with some of the higher characters as well. His ult is fucking annihilating everyone in its path. Granted, at higher elos, people will run away and hide. However, he's just really, really good at countering a lot of flying characters as well, and just being a menace. He has good burst damage as well. He's just really good. Storm, D tier. I'll get onto why Storm's a D tier character later. I'll probably go through, like... I think I'm going to make a list of, like, the 3 worst characters in the game, or, like, the 4 worst characters in the game, and be like, this is why they're bad. I think that's what I'm going to make a video on. But Storm, she's easily countered. Her entire game design goes against being a flying character. She's a support DPS, so you want to be on your team, giving them the extra damage boost. However, because she's a flying character, you want to be off to the side to be annoying. Like with Iron Man and stuff. He is all about hiding behind cover, peeking in and out, in and out, in and out, being a fucking nuisance, whereas Storm will be right in front of her team, able to be just beamed down by a Punisher. It's just hard. Her damage is also really lacking, even with the double damage boost and stuff. She's just overall a really bad character. Her ult is really good, though, because it's hard to get away from her. However, no one groups up in GM anyways, so you're just running out of options on her. She's good at lower ranks, don't get me wrong. However, it's weird that she has to reload wind as well, so... yeah. Even though canonically she has to channel the power, and she can only channel so much, but that's fine, whatever. Bucky, S tier. Again, fucking... let's go gambling! That's all he is. He's that meme personified. His ult is amazing. His combo damage is amazing. His utility is amazing. And his self-sustain is amazing. Bucky just has some really good damage. Just genuinely good damage. And, yeah, I think he's S tier. He may be A tier for some other people. I think he's S tier. He's easily countered, don't get me wrong. However, if people know what they're doing and know how to hook and pull, the character's just really fucking good. He can ragdoll you, and that's why he's insanely good. Wolverine. This is a hard one because, like, people will fucking say he's S tier because he's good at shredding tanks, bro. Doesn't matter. I would say he's B tier. I used to put him down here, but now I've put him up here because people now know how to play Wolverine. But this is the issue. People know how to play against Wolverine. Wolverine is a tank buster. He's great at shredding DPS. Great at shredding tanks. However, here's the big issue. In GM, or even lower, even in Diamond, tanks are not the problem. Don't get me wrong, a good strange is a pain in the ass. But it's the healers. The healers are healing everyone. The healers are permanently getting their health back, keeping their team up, being a nuisance. In higher elos as well, healers are DPS. In GM1, we frequently go free healers because healers have insane damage potential. Rocket Raccoon, Mantis, and Luna all have crazy good damage potential if you know what you're doing. Wolverine, he can focus and push around tanks and stuff, but it's just hard to get value out of him aside from picking off a Magneto or maneuvering around a Hulk. He just feels a bit off. But yeah, that's the tier list, okay? That's not a tier list based on Moon Knight. That's just my opinion as a GM1 player. We are now going to go in to get some oh, sorry, that's the wrong button. There you go. We are now going to go into practice range, and I'm going to give a few tips on Moon Knight. And that'll be the end of the video. Okay? So, first things first, you need to know your weaknesses as Moon Knight. Okay?
I'm the Fist of Khonshu.
Yep. I love you. I love you, Moon Knight. I can't turn down fucking in-game voice. Here we go. No, wait, that's microphone. Never mind. Whatever. It's fine. So, Moon Knight. First things first. This is Overwatch type gameplay. So you're gonna have counters. You need to know your counters. First things first, Moon Knight really struggles with flying characters unless you're an insanely good aimer. Right? Like, even me, who plays Moon Knight and knows how to lead his projectiles, even I somewhat struggle. against a bot who's moving in the same direction. So, flyers, you need to be careful. Don't get me wrong, there's some crazy Moon Knights who can, like, snipe out a fucking Iron Man from the sky. But against real people, they don't move like a bot, alright? If you're playing against an Iron Man who knows what he's doing, he's gonna play like a fucking moth and do this shit. Try and hit this with the projectiles. It ain't happening, okay? So, be wary of flyers. A lot of the time, though, flying people like to, like, play like this. For example, they stand like this, right? And they use cover to their advantage. So, you know, you just put an Ankh and then do the one-shot combo and you'll kill him. Don't get me wrong. Yes, that is a valuable thing. However, you just need to be careful with flyers. Also, dive are your bane of your existence apart from Spider-Man. So, Black Panther, Magic, Thor, Venom, even Captain America in certain situations are your counter. Iron Fist, Wolverine, Psylocke, they all dive you and they get in your face. Psylocke is really hard to deal with because she can jump out of your Ankh. If you are hell-bent on staying as Moon Knight when getting dove, though, so let me go this way. So I'm gonna change Lunar Snow here to we'll say Psylocke. If you are hell-bent on staying as Moon Knight while you're against your biggest counter, I would recommend caping your Ankh. So if you're actually like actively fighting the team, right, and being a nuisance, but then you have a Psylocke who's like, hello, keep your Ankh so you can do the one-shot combo on her and keep yourself alive. However, I would just recommend 90% of the time if they have dive, just fucking play them all. Like, just play them all. It's much easier to deal with. But this is a Moon Knight video anyways, so there we go. Spider-Man is the only exception to this rule. Because if a Spider-Man does this, right, so most of the time a Spider-Man will hit you twice and then go in for the whip and then uppercut you and then punch you to death, right? Unless they know, like, some insane cancels. When he hits you with the whip and he sticks to you, as soon as you see the web connect, do this. Just look down, throw Ankh, and then just spam everything into your Ankh. Because when you go up into the air with him with the uppercut, the Ankh will bounce still, no matter what. That is my tip to deal with Spider-Man. Anyways, some actual genuine tips for Moon Knight. First things first is your positioning. You are not a DPS character who's going to be like Punisher, right, in front of everyone, like just beaming them down. That is not your job, okay? You, on the other hand, are the character who plays up here. You know, being a nuisance, like, being an absolute fucking idiot. And, like, you don't even necessarily need to get picks. You just need to be that guy who, if I come over here as the Goonisher and actually, like, hits things. Imagine I'm in the enemy team, right? My enemy team are here. Like, I'm shooting them, like, bang, 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 right? Because this is how a DPS would play. They would play with their supports, with their tanks. If my Moon Knight is up here, my enemy Moon Knight, but the tank is right here, and, like, the healers are here, and I'm getting pressured for free, me as a Punisher, I would look up here and go bang, 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 bang. Just a quick one. I actually forgot to record this. I segued into it, but forgot to record, like, me talking about it. So I was talking about up here. Your job is to be a nuisance and just, like, it doesn't necessarily matter about getting picks, right? It's all about just dealing damage and wasting resources. I forgot to mention, a lot of people like to bring this up. Oh, you're feeding the supports. Like, ultimate charge and stuff. I know where this myth comes. It's not a myth. It's actually really, it's true as fuck, and I get this, but I will explain. I'll explain. I understand where this comes from. There's a Moon Knight player. Not a Moon Knight player, but there's like a guy who makes counter videos, right? Who explains that, I don't remember his name. I wish I did, and I would. If I remember it, I'll link him. Because he has some really, really insanely good points. But there's this myth where it's just like, oh, well, you don't want to feed supports, right? For free. While that necessarily is true, this is a hero shooter. There is nothing you can do to avoid that. Apart from just don't pick Moon Knight. People need to remember, this game is a lot bigger than damage, healing, damage blocked. A lot of people like to complain like, oh, well, I have the most damage blocked, or oh, I have the most damage. For example, a big thing I have is I get people who join my stream and say, how do I rank out of silver? I average 400 million DPS with Punisher, but no one can get kills. And I'm like, that's the issue, because you're just mag dumping into Doctor Strange or Groot. So you're feeding damage. I fully get that, but you need to remember, every single healer has resources to spend, right? Yes, while I'm spamming into Groot and he's being healed, yes, my healers, or my enemy healers, are building up ult charge. Yes, they are. But so am I. And they are also, I have infinite stuff on, they are also spending their resources, right? A lot of the time, yes, Mantis builds it up really quickly, but Mantis is usually banned. Rocket, for example, you're making him reload. That's downtime. That's time where he has to say reload, and then that's when you can burst and kill someone. This game is about resources. It's like why I say about Iron Man is all about playing up and away from the team. It's to make the Punisher look away from his team and look upwards and take a 1v1 or like a group fight with the Iron Man in the air. It's all about wasting resources and being a nuisance, right? Yes, okay, Moon Knight does feed supports a little bit, but it's very misconceptualized. Like, loads of people join my stream and they're like, fucking Moon Knight feeding the healers. Yeah. Yes, but also they're feeding me, right? Moon Knight builds his ult insanely quick, right? Because of the glaives bouncing off of people and how many hits he has to throw out. So, for example, while Moon Knight can build enemy ults quicker, he can build his own, and he can force out ults quicker as well because of it. A lot of supports will hold their ult for big team fight ults, right? Like, if an Iron Man pops his ult, or a group pops his ult, a support will counter it with theirs. People do that with Moon Knights as well, because 9 times out of 10, a Moon Knight who knows what he's doing will catch someone with the Ankh. So it's an insanely good idea to, yes, don't overfeed, don't just sit there fucking using Groot as a big Ankh, because it will help, but you're wasting resources. If a Mantis is not hitting continuous headshots, right, say the Mantis is having kind of a rough game, say she's say she's filled, and she's having a rough game, and she doesn't have infinite ammo, and she has, like, all of her points spent, I can't heal right now. I cannot. And if I'm not hitting heads, like, I'm having a really bad game, I'm being pressured by, like, a magic, and I'm trying to heal them, and I'm trying to heal myself, and I'm having to reload, I'm overall putting a lot of stress on the team. I'm probably tilting them as well. And while, yes, I'm feeding ult charge, I'm not doing it nearly as much as you think you are. It's just not how it works, and that's why I'm just like, there is a... It's misunderstood, because a lot of people like to say, like, you're just feeding ult charge, and I know the guy who does it, and he is an insanely good player, don't get me wrong, I understand. I think he's GM3, though. I get that, I understand that. However, it's not as big of an issue as you think it is, because you need to think of the bigger picture, alright? It's not about damage done, it's not about elims, it's not about damage blocked, it's about who you kill. I get a lot of people who are like, oh, I play Punisher, I drop 30 kills, and I'm like, yeah, but who are the 30 kills? Is the 30 kills the supports, or is the 30 kills the other DPS? Because at the end of the day, it's about tanks and healers, not about you. So yeah, just thought I'd put that in there, like a little post-editing thing. I'll just let everyone know about that. Right? Which is what you want, because now that I'm like this, that's 1 DPS looking away from the tanks and the healers. That's 1 DPS, or even 2. Sometimes both the DPS are like, Moon Knight. You are forcing attention away from the team, which allows picks, healers to die, etc., etc. So you need to learn about your positioning. Think of yourself as kind of like, almost like an assassin, but like a ranged assassin, where you don't want to get hit as much. You have insane mobility with your grapple hook and stuff. If you need healing, don't just jump down and get out of your position to be like, healers, heal me. There are health packs around the map, okay? People don't believe these exist. These things do exist, I promise you. These are real. These are not like Khonshu's imagination. These are real, okay? Look for them. So that was my first tip, the whole positioning. Another tip is to use your grapple hook. Yes, this tech is really good to get extra height. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's like, oh my god, why don't you just use the tech, bro? The tech is situational for when you need height. However, you can use it for mobility as well. You see how I didn't go very high because of the angle I took? When you're being dove by a Psylocke, you want to immediately get away, right? You don't want to do this. Oh, a Psylocke! As you can see, I'm up in the air, and I'm, like, even if I don't glide, I'm, like, very telegraphed where I'm going, right? And people know exactly where you're going. I get beamed out the air by a fucking Punisher right now. Literally. Imagine this flying bot is a Moon Knight who's just used his grip, right? This is what happens to you. Okay? Because everyone has a go at me when I sometimes do this, just to go forward really quickly. They're like, why didn't you do the super tech, bro? You go much higher. Yeah, trust me, it's situational. It's not all about it. The tech is good when you need it. Alright? So just be careful of that. Third tip. My third tip is the insta-kill combo. Now, a lot of characters have animation cancels. You know, as Spider-Man, you could do that combo, right? You can cancel it with the right click. Right, that's known as an animation cancel. This is also an animation cancel. Such like that, right? Everyone knows this. Strange has an animation cancel as well. If you put your shield up halfway through his reload. Oh, I have infinite ammo on. If you put his shield up halfway through his reload, you cancel the animation, right? Those are animation cancels. They are very well known in MOBAs, but they are also prevalent in this game. Moon Knight has one, for example. So this is my usual attack speed, right? Dum, 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 right? With the animation cancel, you attack much faster, right? So the animation cancel is as follows. It's left click. So you left click once, you Ankh, left click, right click. This animation cancel will 9 times out of 10 insta-kill someone if you hit the first hit. Right? It's a very simple combo. You can do it really fast at close range as well. Because Moon Knight will be able to attack instantly after the Ankh lands. It is a really good combo for bursting. It's also a really good combo if you get dove on by a tank. Because it does about half health damage. You are not the solo DPSer, so you'll probably get back up. And you'll probably kill someone. That is a really good animation to learn. Once again, I'll show you again. It's left click, Ankh, left click, right click. Like that. You'll most of the time kill one person with that combo if it's quick. Like, I'll show you on an actual character here. Psylocke, right? Oh, I messed it up. But, there you go. There you go. One sec. There you go. Right? It is a really good combo. And a lot of the times your Ankh will get focus. So this is much better because it's just a quick little, like, burst DPS combo. Right? That's kind of all the tips I have. I have one more tip, actually. I just thought of it. Your ult. Your ult's really not that great. It's good. Don't get me wrong. As you'll see here, your ult's okay. However, a lot of the time, when you use your ult, people will just do this. Right, because there's a delay. Also, the enemy team can see you with this big-ass Ankh out. I like to use this as, like, a little, like, gimmick, like, oogly boogly boogly, like, just scare the shit out of people. But 9 times out of 10, they'll just jump out your ult, okay? So a really good tip for me that I would give you is when you put down your ult, throw an Ankh in the center. Your Ankh sucks people up, right? It sucks them up and knocks them up. So the best idea to get multiple people in your Ankh, not your Ankh, your ult, sorry, is to throw the Ankh in the center because it sucks them up into the center. Like that, right? Obviously, if the enemy team has a Groot, then it's... well, if your team has a Groot, just combo that. But at the end of the day, there you go. That's it. I'm trying to think of any more tips and tricks. There's really not many tips and tricks I can give you for Moon Knight, simply because Moon Knight is... Why is my team up deactivated? Give me... There's not many tips for Moon Knight because the character is very simple, right, in execution. Like I said, the only really advanced piece of tech I have is the animation cancel, right? You can also animation cancel off of the, what's it called? The Moon ability as well. But the Moon ability takes a little bit too long, so it doesn't really matter. You can attack anyways afterwards, but, like, you can do quite okay damage with it. When you have a Cloak and Dagger team up, this ability is actually really insane because you stay invis even while attacking. So just use it to, like, get yourself out of jail. Right? Like, say I'm up here being pressured, then I can just go lol, and then, like, hide, and then run away. But 9 times out of 10 people will just spray into the bubble anyways. But, yeah, I think that's all I can give you, really. Just avoid dive, avoid flying characters. This game is a hero shooter, so there are counters just due to how kits work. If you're struggling against dive, but struggling... and struggling against flying opponents, play Namor. Namor is really good at just pressuring flying opponents because of how his projectiles work. And if I'm not mistaken... Yeah, look, see? If you hit your right click, your turrets will focus flying enemies anyways, and the projectile on the right click is much bigger than your left click anyways. So, I would just recommend doing that. So yeah, there you go. There's a Moon Knight tip video, tier list, all that shit from a GM1. Thank you for watching and thank you for hanging out. Bye.